Muslims claim there's lots of miracles in the Quran. There's a verse in there that actually talks about where the milk of cows come from. How could he know this? Well, he knows this because that's what the Greeks thought. And that's what was taught right around his time.
You know, it's funny. I've actually never heard anyone use this as a proof of a divine miracle. Why is that? It's because you quite literally chose the worst example ever so you could try to make a point. Sure, I'll grant you that he heard the Greeks say it and assumed it was right and added it into his text. Now, how about how the Quran states that the sun and the moon have their own orbit, which the oldest Muslims already knew, how the earth is spherical, how the human embryo cycle is accurate, or where the seminal vessels are located. Sure, you could say that the Prophet Muhammad, on whom be peace, just heard the Greeks say this and took it. However, now you're gonna have to say that he's a professional guesser in which Greek theory was accurate and which wasn't, because how could he have guessed all of this without getting a single one incorrect? But let's one up that. How about I show some information that no one in humanity at all knew at his time, yet he's able to accurately show it. So I want you to pay attention to 4 premises of this verse. 1, the pharaoh claims to be God. 2, he orders a person named Haman to bake bricks out of clay for him. 3, that person Haman has some characteristics like being an architect. And 4, he will use this tower to build it very high up to reach God. This is important because in 600 AD, already for hundreds of years, the Egyptian hieroglyphics were a lost language that no one could read. It was only rediscovered and redeciphered in the 1800s when the Rosetta Stone was discovered and they were able to decipher Egyptian hieroglyphics again for the very first time. That means not a single person in the entire world could have had access to this information for the Prophet Muhammad to have quote-unquote stole it from, like you're claiming. So now we'll see if this verse aligns with contemporary ancient Egyptian records from thousands and thousands of years before the Prophet Muhammad ever existed. So keep in mind, everything I'm going to be showing you was discovered after the 1800s, discovered after the Rosetta Stone. So 1, we have the pharaoh actually claimed to be God himself. We know this off of hieroglyphic inscriptions that say it. We have record of ancient Egyptians baking bricks with clay. During the Prophet Muhammad's time, they would have baked bricks with mud. So he's telling his audience here that the ancient people before him are much more technologically advanced than him, something that appears like a joke to them, but is in fact historically true. Ancient Egyptians believed that they can connect to the divine through high monumental structures. This is proven through contemporary religious texts and practices that we have access to. Finally, what's probably the most important is that Haman is actually an architect, high-ranking official involved in the construction of religious matters for the court of the pharaoh, according to historical archaeological findings. How did the Prophet Muhammad know that?
He stole it. What a scientific discovery was for ancient...
I'm actually really glad you said that. That's cool you believe he stole it. Unfortunately, you can't just make up things because you feel like it. Secular scholars know that the Prophet Muhammad's own life would not allow for such events like him going into a faraway land and hearing scientific knowledge from educated individuals. So no, the idea of yours kind of just blatantly contradictory to his life. So thanks for conceding that the only way you think that he could have gotten access to this info was by learning it from the Greeks. Something that academia already accepts is historically implausible.
How could he ever know this poetry? Well, because he stole it all.
How do you steal linguistics? How do you steal Arab linguistics, Hebrew linguistics, Arabic dialects, eloquent Arabic language, poetry, theology? What are you saying right now?